Hey guys, it's Win. Today we're doing a simple sketch and study chat with me, and we're gonna be doing some female portraits, which is definitely my favorite kind of study exercise. I haven't been doing as many female portraits or just like human portraits in general, so that's why we're doing the study today. I have pre-chosen 3 references from Pinterest that have caught my eye. They're not necessarily the best references, but it's just something that makes me excited to draw, which is why I chose them. Personally, I like pictures of pretty girls, because who doesn't like pretty girls, right? And I really love it when photos involve hands of some sort. Salt? What? Because hands really make it a little bit more spicy. But I also acknowledge that hands can be really tough, so choose your battle wisely. It's a study, so no pressure. You can study with me if you want to, we can do it together. The first drawing that we'll be doing today will be this one. It's a girl who's wearing a pink camisole, I assume. She has blonde hair in twin tails and a fluffy hat on her head. My favorite part about this picture is definitely the hands and the cute facial expression she's doing, so that's what I hope I can capture. I'll be talking you guys through my process of the sketch and the kind of thought processes that I'll have usually. So when I first start my study, I usually do the basic structure, so the shape of the head and maybe the body, the shoulders and so on. It might not look the cutest, but it's definitely recommended to start with the structure. If you're struggling to do the structure in the first place, you can definitely refer to the Asaro head, but I'm lazy, so today we're just gonna try to do it however, anime style, but like poorly. And then after that, I tend to do the hands or any other parts that kind of scare me, because I have the most energy now to do anything, so let's do the hard part first. If it makes it better for you, draw the extra parts on a different layer so that you can change it anytime. But remember, because it's a study, it doesn't matter, you can erase it, it's a sketch. So the next thing usually I'll focus on is the face, because the face is usually the thing that we look at, right? Especially when it comes to humans. So how you do your faces really depends on you. For me, I like to focus on where my features will be. So I'll kind of measure where the nose, the mouth, and the eyes will be. I'm not the best artist out there, but from what I can tell, usually your mouth is somewhere where your... what do you call those? Like your jaw, your cheek. You know when you draw anime faces, there's this part where the jaw connects with the cheek area and there's a little bit of a bump or like a change in the direction of the stroke. So usually that's where I like to place my mouth, and then your nose is just slightly above it. I do have a bad habit of drawing my noses really short, and I don't know, is it a complex or something or just a beginner habit, but do take note of where your mouth and your nose is, because sometimes it's really hard to tell. Next, I will draw the eyes. I think eyes is something I still need to work on, but recently I've been trying to focus on making sure I draw the double eyelids, or if not the double eyelids, the main upper eyeline, and kind of giving it more of a wing instead of just the normal almond shape, because I really like how it gives the illusion of eyelashes, but at the same time it's nothing overtly fancy. After you finish the features, I like to do the hair, because the hair gives the character personality. So today the girl's hair is in twin tails. She has a little bit of a wave. I tried to separate the strands of hair into bigger chunks so that's more manageable. It looks a little bit like mermaid tails today, but it's okay, it's just a sketch. And then lastly, we have like the clothing, the frills, the folds, the hat. I usually don't spend too much time on the clothing because it's usually not my focus. But if you're studying clothes, make sure you don't go overboard with the folds, because sometimes too much is messy. But if that's what you like, go ahead, you know. Now we're moving on to the second sketch. This is the reference we're using. It's a girl with long blonde hair. I'm not sure why we have so many platinum colored hair today, but we do. So she has straighter hair with a little bit of a curvy bang, but it's mostly straight and really long and heavy. And she has a black headband and long sleeve clothing, as well as like a little necklace as well. As I said, I draw the hand first on a separate layer, and then I will draw in the rest of her body after I finish laying down the main structure for the face. It's really loose, there's not much measurement going on. If you're doing this seriously and you're gonna really render it and everything, I would definitely suggest that you measure your body, because what's worse than rendering and then realizing 5 hours into a painting that, hey, I should have drawn the shoulders smaller, which is something I did not notice until later on. So for this sketch, I focused on drawing the eyes first, because that's just where I felt like could be anchored with. I'm not sure, is it the same for you guys? When I draw a tilted face, I also tilt my head in real life to see whether the facial features are aligned on the same line. I know I should have drawn the line to connect my eyes, but I'm just lazy. You know, I'm doing the bare minimum of studying. And then of course we draw the hair next. I think that drawing straight hair and slightly curvy hair is the easiest for me so far. Tight curls are really difficult, but when it comes to sketches, you can actually get away with like laziness more than if you were to render it. I'm pretty sure if I rendered this few sketches that I did today, I would meet a lot of issues with the hair later on, because I drew tiny strands, right? And when you sketch it, the lines kind of give that illusion, but once you color it in and the shading and everything, that's when you get more issues coming out if you don't clean up your sketch later on. So of course we finish it up by doing her face. We finish it off with doing her clothes, and I gave her a little bit of blush, which I think I also gave the very first sketch as well. Not all of my sketches I will give eyelashes. I think it really depends on the vibe, but I just felt like for this sketch we don't need so much eyelashes for it to be extra cute. The last study that we'll be doing today is this picture right here. It's a really pretty girl. She has, I would say, wavy hair, and it's not really a portrait, it's more of like a waist kind of photo, waist up, hip up, leg up photo, but you can't see most of her body, which is why I still consider it more or less similar to the portraits or headshots that we had in the first two. The most challenging thing about this reference, I would think, is that her body is obscured by more baggy clothing. If you notice that her sleeves are pretty baggy. For me, bodies are still something that I'm working on. So I had a hard time imagining where her hands would be and how the proportions should be. So I just eyeballed it, and hopefully it doesn't look too horrendous. Because anyways, my focus today is to study the face, and whatever else is just a bonus and just something fun to experiment with. So of course, as always, I started with the entire body sketch first, focusing on the shapes instead of the details. But considering that I wasn't sure where and how to start, I just decided to go head first by kind of following where the folds is and eyeballing it that way. Because she has such long hair, right? A lot of it is also obscuring her body. So you can't exactly see where her shoulder ends on her right side. So I gotta make a guess. I don't think I made a guess right looking at it now. But it's okay, the hair will hide it anyways, right? The lazy artist way of learning. Just right is good enough, because sometimes good enough is all you have. Anyways, figuring out exactly how to angle the features is still something really hard, especially when the picture is not a full frontal photo or full 3/4 photo. You know, when a character is facing 3/4, their nose looks different from when they're on the front. But what if like they're doing something slightly in between? Then it'll be different, right? Obviously. And I don't think I have enough experience for all of those angles, let alone a angle that is even more drastic. But it's okay, we're here to study, right? So every drawing we make, no matter how bad, is a progress in itself. Right, guys? So of course, lastly, we do the hair. And for this hair, I decided to be a little bit more messy with it, kind of to clump all the strands together into thicker ribbons. Generally, this photo makes it easier to visualize how the strands would be, whereas if her hair was wispy hair, then maybe it would have been more difficult, but this hairstyle tends to clump together, so it's not so bad. And anyways, I finished it up by giving her some blush and some eyelashes as well. And that's it for my last sketch for today. So overall, all 3 of my sketches took an average about 15 to 18 minutes to finish, under 20 minutes. And it's okay if you want to give yourself a time limit of how much to spend on your sketches, because sometimes fast and loose drawings are also important to practice, but I decided to do it more relaxed and easy today. And that's it for the studies today. I hope you enjoyed the video or found something interesting about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, support me by buying my emotes on my Etsy. Bye!